Hi guys, welcome to another beer review, and today two firsts for the channel. Well, two firsts for me. Yeah, take bloody 10. Jesus Christ, it's been a struggle getting this done. I'm changing it up because I felt like it. But I'm starting from a radiator, and even though it's not cold at all, for some reason somebody's put the heating on, so I had to turn my radiator down. I'm sweating and warm. For some reason I'm out of breath. I've got a tiny bit of acid reflux, so, you know, fantastic opportunity, you know, perfect time to do a beer review. You know, impeccable timing. But yeah, instead of sounding like a salty bitch, I'm just going to get on with it. So, it's a first for me for two reasons, because it's going to be the first Polish craft beer that I've reviewed on the channel, and it's also actually the first Polish craft beer that I've ever had. Now, I picked this up from HonestBrew, which was part of a large order, because I was given money by Paul, aka Brew News, to surprise him with some beers for his trip in March, and yeah, with some discount codes and stuff. I thought, I've still got a little bit of money left over myself. Why don't I buy myself some treats? And that's what I did, and this was one of them. And yeah, so the beer in question is ART1. I think that's what it's titled. I should have looked up on Untapped, because hey, it's not like I've spent half an hour faffing about trying to get this video done. But yeah, so this was brewed by Browar Stu Mostów. Major apologies for what I know is a terrible pronunciation attempt. No offence intended, of course, and I do apologise to any potential Polish-speaking viewers right now. So please, what? When did I become religious? Please forgive me for my mispronunciation. But yeah, so it's a beer from these guys, and I've heard a hell of a lot of the Polish craft beer scene the past few years, and we're starting to get a few more of their beers in. I know the Brewdog bars are a good source of the Polish craft beers, and I think you can even go to like a Polish website that delivers to the UK, if I remember correctly. I know the likes of Simon from Real Ale Craft Beer, he's shouted to the high heavens with the Polish craft beers that he's been very lucky to try. And yeah, I've always been interested, and yeah, what drew me to this one is the style of the beer, and also the fact that it's a collaboration with one of my favourite German craft brewers. So the ART1 is a 8% Doppel Weizenbock German IPA, and the brewery that they have collaborated with is Camba Bavaria, who I've reviewed a few beers of theirs on the channel. Favourite of mine. I just love their consistency. They do very accessible beers, but they also do some really nice limited runs and seasonals and experimental type beers as well. And yeah, I always used to buy their beers when I was in Germany, and it's just a shame you don't see too many of the beers in the UK. In fact, you don't see much of the fantastic German craft brewing scene, which is a major shame. Because, well, that being said, you could be surprised next week there could be a whole shipment from, you know, God knows whoever. That's the beauty of the scene here in the UK, is the fact just some of these weird and wonderful beers that are popping up. So it wouldn't actually surprise me if not only would we get more German craft beers, but also a lot more Polish craft beers as well, and of course from other territories. You know, you just never know what you're going to come across when you go to your bottle shop or you look online, and that's the beauty of it. Do you know what I mean? There's something for everyone, from all over the world, from all sorts of different styles, like old favourites to new experimental styles, and yeah, it's never a dull moment. And I can't think of a hobby that's like that, to be honest, and I love it. So yeah, a Doppel Weizenbock German IPA. That sounds absolutely wonderful. Speaking of wonderful, how amazing is that artwork? Do you know, it sort of reminds me of like a technical drawing almost. But yeah, lovely like geometric shapes and beautiful colour scheme. I just love it. Not too sure who designed this one, but if I find out who did, then I'll put their information down below. I mean, there is a load of Polish information on the back, which I rarely don't know too many like key Polish words to decipher it. But yeah, beautifully presented. It sort of reminds me of like the Collective Arts labels from Canada. But yeah, hopefully I can get that label off, because that's a keeper for sure. And the brewery was actually established in 2014, so a relatively young brewery. And there we have an absolutely fantastic crown. Yeah, just that perfect like blurring of the lines of beer and art, and I'm all for that, because I don't think I've had a bad beer when I've been blown away by the artwork. It just hasn't happened to me yet, so hopefully it doesn't happen today, because I'm very much looking forward to this one. And this has a best before date of the 15th of the 11th 2018. So without any further ado, let's get this beer opened and see what we get. Not too much in terms of smoke. And to honour my German brothers and sisters, using my Regensburg Craft Beer Festival glass for 2017. What a festival that was. So without any further ado, let's see what we get in this. I'll tell you what, that is looking lovely already. I won't pour it all in, so I can get my nose in there and see if it changes further on down the line. So beer in the glass then, yeah, that's hazy. It's not that sort of like New England style. I don't know why I always compare it to a New England style IPA when I'm doing these beer reviews. I think it's so much in your conscience now with these like hazy, fruit bombs and stuff. But yeah, it's still, opaque, unclear. You can't see through that at all. Bits and bobs floating around in there, like speckles. Just look at that. Hopefully you can pick that up. We get little dots of sediment in there, then a nice cloud in the middle. It's sort of like an orangey amber colour. It almost looks like a slightly dirty water in a way, with those little flecks of sediment, but it looks really nice actually. And the beer didn't really pour with too much of a head. Well, it did initially, but it died down really quickly, and it seems to be like a sort of like soft white eggshell in terms of colour. But yeah, really nice and dense actually. So looks really nice. Let's see what we get on the nose. And I tell you what, that has like got the makings of each of those like sub styles, because you get that slightly fruity hoppy character from the IPA. You definitely get that wheatiness from the Weizen aspect of the Bock, and then you get that slight lagery muskiness in there as well. Has like a slight Belgian twist to it, almost, in that sort of like yeastiness. Like sourdough bread almost. Loads of like herbal characters. It's got that sort of like bag of mixed salad leaves. Not that I'd really know too much about salad, of course, but I dabble every now and then. Let's just say I dabble more in salad than I do with soy. So that reference is never getting old, is it? It's just going to keep dragging on and dragging on. But yeah, it's a very intriguing one. I'm almost getting like a fragrant pink peppercorn character. Sort of like that. It reminds me of like the pepper pills from Velda and Braukunstkeller, or Himberg's Braukunstkeller. That smells really nice, really intriguing. It ticks the boxes of each style, and there's even like maybe like a slight Rauch beer element. Yeah, very intriguing for sure. Wasn't what I was expecting it to be, but what it has is really nice and unique. So without any further ado, let's see what we get on the taste. Cheers guys. Prost. I can't remember the Polish word for cheers. I do apologise. Yeah, it's primarily a Polish beer, but I say Prost. Just cheers, ladies and gentlemen. Cheers. Wow, that is really unique. The first thing I get, and the first thing it reminds me of, is the Schneiderweiser Hopfenweiser. Yeah, that Weizenbock mixed with the hoppiness is what it reminds me of. I mean, I'm sure if you were to try Weizenbock IPAs in general, you'd get those similar flavours. So whatever you first tried or first became notable of the style, you'll always go back to. But yeah, that's an intriguing one for sure. Loads of sherbety on the intake. Floral hop characters. Loads of sort of like potpourri, almost. Like lemon peel, orange peel, like dried fruits. Again, loads of pepper. Loads of peppercorn on this one. It's got that sort of like spicy, seasoned element. A Doppel Weizenbock. Well, being it's Doppel and 8%, alcohol is masked quite nicely. The only slight harshness is that like herbal character. It's got like a sharp herbal tea note in this one, but then it's offset nice with the fruitiness. Almost has like slight eucalyptus characters as well, and like a fresh mint leaf. So very, very herbal. I'd say that's the key word with this IPA. It's that herbal character. Yeah, and like that Weizenbock style. You know, of like stuff like Picantus and Corbinius, or what's that? Is it Corbinius from Weinstefano, which is the Weizenbock? I can't remember, or is that I can't remember. It's been a while. But you get that German flair. You really, really do. And then it's got those like slight characters of like the big macro like Polish lagers almost. But it works really, really well. It's an acquired taste for sure. I don't know if I could do even 2 bottles in a row, just because there's some really strong flavours in that, and it's got that like that slight Belgian-esque yeastiness, which I don't fundamentally like a lot of the time. But there's stuff going on around it that helps it a bit. Like it's also got that sort of like double or triple sort of character, or maybe is it triple or quad? That's the really hoppy one. Yeah, you could clearly tell that I'm no expert when it comes to beer, but I'm just getting so much from all over the place with this one. But it fundamentally works well. It's really nice and balanced. It's really unique. It's really nice and refreshing. Slightly medicinal, it has to be said. Loads of herbal character. Loads of big yeastiness. A little bit drying on the palate as well. You can tell that it's 8% without it being boozy, because it's like bold. So it's a sipper for sure. But yeah, I quite like that. I quite like that indeed. It's definitely an intriguing introduction to a Polish craft beer. And yeah, it's always good to drink something from Camba Bavaria, especially when it's a collaboration. So yeah, with all the beer in a glass, hasn't really changed too much. One final sip and I'll give it a rating. Orangey, floral, slightly zesty, bready, yeasty, bold, a little bit sharp. And I think overall, I could happily give that one a 7.5 out of 10. It is one that I would try again, but I wouldn't really rush out to pick up another bottle anytime soon, just because it's a little bit too left field almost for me. It's got elements that I'm not really loving, but fundamentally it's rounded, it's nice and tasty, something a little bit different, it's exciting, it's fresh, and that's always appreciated for me personally. So yeah, 7.5 out of 10 or 7.75 out of 10, leaning towards the 8 out of 10. And yeah, if you've tried this beer or any of the other beers from either Browar Stu Mostów or Camba Bavaria, then let me know your thoughts, opinions down below. Very intriguing style. Very unique, like I said. If you've tried anything like it, recommendations, thoughts, opinions are always welcome. Check out both breweries. I'll put their links down below. Of course, I've got a Camba Bavaria playlist, so I will include that. And hopefully in the future, I'll be able to get quite a bountiful Polish craft beer playlist sorted. But I'm going to put my Polish playlist, which is more macro sort of stuff. But great brewing tradition in himself. Two fantastic brewing traditions coming together and making something that stands out, from the label on the bottle to the beer in the glass. Exciting stuff. It's what I love about craft beer. And now I want some more Polish beers, and I want some more Camba Bavaria beers. So I might have to do another order in the not too distant future. Anyway, I've waffled on for way too long. If any of friends and fellow beer tubes have reviewed this one, I'll put their links down below. And yeah, that's it for now, guys. Thank you all for watching, and I shall hopefully see you all later. Cheers. I wasn't going to say Prost that time.